I want you to think about the scariest call you could ever imagine making. For most of us, it's a 911 call. You're in trouble, you need help, and that voice on the other end is your lifeline. Now, imagine you make that call. You're terrified, you're trying to explain what's happening, and then the line just goes dead. That chilling scenario is the entry point to one of the most haunting and straight-up bizarre disappearance cases I have ever come across. It's a story about a young woman on a journey to find herself who ended up vanishing into thin air, leaving behind a trail of clues that make absolutely no sense. So grab a drink, get comfortable, because today we are going down the deep, dark rabbit hole of what happened to Leah Roberts. This is Leah Roberts. She was 23 years old in the year 2000, and by all accounts, she was brilliant. She was about to graduate from college in North Carolina, fluent in Spanish, whip-smart, and had this incredible adventurous spirit. She was the kind of person who wasn't afraid to carve her own path. But Leah's life hadn't been easy. Not by a long shot. Just a few years earlier, her mom died suddenly from heart disease. And then, while she was still reeling from that, her dad was diagnosed with a chronic lung illness and passed away just 3 years later. I mean, can you even imagine? You're in your early 20s, the time you're supposed to be figuring out the world, and you lose both of your parents. That kind of loss, it changes you. It makes you question everything. And that's exactly where Leah was. She was at a crossroads. She felt lost. So, she started looking for inspiration. She found it in the writings of Jack Kerouac, especially his classic book, On the Road. For those who don't know, that book is the holy grail of American road trip stories. It's all about hitting the open road, leaving your old life behind, and searching for meaning out in the great wide open. And Leah decided that's what she needed to do. She needed her own on-the-road journey. She told her friends she wanted to drive west, towards the Pacific Northwest, and see the Cascade Mountains. She wanted to find herself. On March 9th, 2000, she put her plan into action. She packed up her white Jeep Cherokee, took a bunch of cash she'd saved up, we're talking thousands of dollars, and she hit the road. She left a note for her roommate that said, "I'm not suicidal. I'm the opposite." She even included enough cash to cover her bills while she was gone. She wasn't running away from her responsibilities. She was running towards something. She just didn't know what. Leah's journey was a solo trip, a modern-day pilgrimage. She called her sister Kara from the road, leaving voicemails letting her know she was okay. She made a few stops. We know she was in Oregon, and then, on March 13th, she was seen at a gas station in Bellingham, Washington. She was almost at her destination. The last confirmed sighting of Leah Roberts was at that gas station. Witnesses said she seemed a little out of it, maybe disoriented, but she was there, and then she ghosted. She vanished. For 5 days, there was nothing. No calls, no credit card activity, just silence. Her family, obviously, started to freak out. They reported her missing. And on March 18th, a jogger running on a remote logging road near Mount Baker in Washington stumbled upon a chilling discovery. At the bottom of a steep, wooded embankment, almost hidden from view, was Leah's white Jeep Cherokee. It was completely wrecked. The windows were smashed. The frame was mangled. It had clearly been in a serious high-speed crash. The police show up, and right away, things are just weird, super sketchy. First off, there's no Leah, no body, no blood, no sign of a driver being thrown from the vehicle, just an empty, crashed car. But then they look inside, and this is where the story goes from a simple car accident to something else. Entirely. Someone had hung blankets and pillows up over the broken windows, like they were trying to create a makeshift shelter, like someone had been living in the wrecked car after the crash. And that's not even the half of it. Inside the Jeep, police find almost all of Leah's belongings. Her guitar, her passport, her wallet with credit cards, and, get this, nearly $2,500 in cash tucked into the pockets of her jeans. Who crashes their car, abandons it, but leaves behind a fat stack of cash? It makes 0 sense. They also find a box of cat food, even though Leah didn't own a cat. But the most important thing they found was her mother's engagement ring, which she cherished, just sitting there on the front seat. Leah would have never, ever willingly left that ring behind. That was red flag number 100 for her family. So the cops are thinking, okay, this is no ordinary crash. They bring in investigators to look at the Jeep, and that's when they find the kicker. Someone had cut a wire to the starter relay. This basically meant the car could be accelerated without needing a key in the ignition. Someone could have put a rock on the gas pedal and just let it fly. The investigators concluded the crash was likely staged. It was accelerated intentionally to send it careening off the road. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate. So the question becomes a million times bigger. Did Leah stage her own crash to disappear? Or did someone else stage it to get rid of her? The investigation went into overdrive. Police started getting tips. A guy who owned a gas station near the crash site called in. He said on the day Leah disappeared, a man came into his station looking frantic and agitated. He had scratches all over his hands and was trying to hitch a ride out of town. The description he gave, it could have fit a sketch of a person of interest. But they never found him. Then, another sighting. A woman reported seeing someone who looked exactly like Leah wandering into a diner in Oregon, miles away from the crash site. She said the woman seemed dazed, confused, couldn't remember her own name and kept repeating the name Leah. Could she have survived the crash and developed amnesia? It's a possibility, but it doesn't explain the staged crash or the cut wire. The puzzle pieces just weren't fitting. The case went cold for years. A total mystery. And then, the 911 call. Years after she disappeared, a recording surfaced that supposedly captured a 911 call made from a police jurisdiction in another state. The audio is absolutely terrifying. It's a woman, sobbing, barely able to speak. On the call, the woman says her name is Leah. She talks about her car being run off the road and she sounds like she's about to be attacked. She keeps saying no over and over again, and then the line cuts out. Silence. When this recording hit the internet, the true crime community went nuts. Was this it? Was this the smoking gun? Was this Leah's final desperate call for help? Well, here's the catch. The authenticity of that call is a huge point of debate. Law enforcement, including the lead detective on Leah's case, has pretty much debunked it. They say the call didn't originate from anywhere near where Leah was, the timeline doesn't match, and it's most likely a cruel, unrelated hoax. But for her family, and for so many people who follow this case, it just adds another layer of horror and mystery. Because what if it was real? So, where does that leave us? We're left with 3 main theories. Theory number 1. Foul play. This is what the police and her family believe. The evidence of a staged crash is just too strong. The theory goes that Leah met someone on her journey, maybe that mysterious man at the gas station, and something went horribly wrong. He attacked her, staged the crash to cover his tracks, and disposed of her body somewhere in the vast wilderness of the Cascade Mountains. It's a grim theory, but it's the one that fits the most facts. Theory number 2. Voluntary disappearance. This is the idea that Leah wanted to start a new life, completely off the grid. Maybe she staged the crash herself as a way to make everyone believe she was gone for good. But my 2 cents? This one falls apart fast. Why leave the cash? And more importantly, why? Why would you leave your deceased mother's engagement ring? It just doesn't track with the person Leah was. Theory number 3. Accident with amnesia. This theory suggests that maybe the crash was an accident, and the cut wire was just a weird coincidence or misinterpretation. Maybe Leah was thrown from the car, suffered a severe head injury that caused amnesia, and is out there somewhere, living as a Jane Doe with no idea who she is. It would explain the sighting at the diner. It's the most hopeful theory, but it's a total long shot. At the end of the day, we're left with nothing but questions. Who was the man at the gas station? Who was the dazed woman at the diner? Why was the crash staged? And the biggest question of all, where is Leah Roberts? She went out into the world searching for answers about life after experiencing so much death, only to become a mystery herself. Her car was found, but she was gone. The line went silent, and it's been silent for over 2 decades. Her sister, Kara, has never given up hope. She continues to search for answers to keep Leah's story alive. Because Leah isn't just a character in a mystery. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, a brilliant young woman with a whole life ahead of her. So, I have to ask you guys, what do you think happened? Do you buy the foul play theory? Or could it be something else entirely? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. I read them all, and I'm genuinely curious what you think. If this story stuck with you, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It helps keep stories like Leah's from being forgotten. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next one.